Hi, welcome back, friends. Erin here with Emma K Enterprises. As a quick refresher, just a little bit about myself. I'm in my late 40s. I'm a business professional, started my own business, Emma K Enterprises, really focused around learning more about my health, women's health, general health, wellness, longevity, and using a lot of that to help others and really help others through my content, my website, my books like Cortisol, Detox, Success, and Women's Wellness Playbook for Success. I'm also a wife, a mom. I have a 8-year-old that I love hanging out with, both my husband and I, and a stepson that's in his late 20s already. So we're living the whole gamut of older kids, younger kids, and just trying to be our best selves. So in my late 40s, I'm going through hormonal changes, handling stress differently, handling workouts differently. And so I've been really searching for answers on how to help my health. And I know a lot of other women out there and men and women alike are really struggling with that as well. So I'm hoping that my content helps. Also, as a refresher, I'm working on a 52-week series here. So I'm taking all the information that I learned, what I put into my books to help others, and really putting it to practice for myself and recording it each week with different things, new habits that I'm incorporating. I'll talk about what's working, what's not working as the weeks go on. And hopefully you all will start to see physically changes, because weight is one thing, weight and water retention I want to support. And not that I need to be as fit as I was in my 20s. I want to be fitter so I can be able to keep up with my daughter, hang outside, enjoy long walks and hiking and different activities that I love to do that are just becoming harder and harder to do in my older age, as I haven't kept up with that fitness. And also just mentally, more mental clarity. I want to be able to have a lot more energy. So energy is definitely a big factor for me as well. And so we'll talk about this every week, and every week I'll share some new habit or routine or something else that I'm starting to incorporate, because one of the big things is you can't do a complete 180 overnight. You can't change overnight, change all your habits, change. Everything is about compounding. And so you start a new habit today, another new habit in a few more days, another new habit in a few more days, and start to get these habits to stick and compound on each other. It's not one magic thing that's going to work and give you ultimate energy or make you slimmer. It's about different things compounding on top of each other that are well-rounded and help you reach your goals and help me reach my goals, and also have that longevity of life and just overall health and wellness. So today what we're going to focus on is good routines for every day, and so I'll talk about a couple routines that I'll start to implement each day and that are good to implement for overall health and wellness. It supports hormone health for women, but these are general. They're not specific to any specific hormone or specific symptom. Today it's more general. Good for longevity, overall health, long-term health in general. Good practices to incorporate into your day if you're not already. So the first one, and we've all heard it before, is sleep. Sleep is critical. Sleep is critical to recovery. It sets you up for your day. Really, you're going to hear me talk a lot about the night before sets you up for the next day. And so depending on how your evening goes, your night goes with your sleep, that's going to set you up for your next morning and your next day to succeed or really struggle through that day. So first and foremost is sleep. In another video, we'll talk about evening rituals that set you up for sleep, because I know a lot of my probably ladies out there like me where you might be waking up through the night. Others might be those that are on their screens late into the night, just getting absorbed into their screen or Netflix show. And so we want to try to avoid some of that to help set us up for success and make sure that we're getting that 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep to help us wake up refreshed. Now, some of you might be saying, I still don't wake up refreshed, and we'll talk about things like that as well, and things that hinder us from getting good sleep at night. But right now, let's just focus on trying to get 7 to 9 hours of sleep at night. 9 would be a luxury, 7's more realistic. Let's try to get to 7 if you're not at 7. So 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night. The second thing is hydration. We need water. Water. It's really important to get about 8 glasses of water a day. So it's good to have your water bottles and have those filled up, have a cup of water. Again, going back to evening rituals, I always put a glass of water by my nightstand before I go to bed to help ensure that as soon as I wake up in the morning, I see a glass of water right there, I'm going to drink some water. And that just starts the day off well. So it's important to get your water throughout the day. Now, electric lights are also important, and there's all kinds of different powders and drinks out there with electrolytes. Electrolytes can be very natural. So for example, in the morning, you can put a little bit of sea salt in one of your glasses of water to get some electrolytes. You can, I talked in another video about morning rituals. So your morning warm water or herbal tea, put some honey in there, put some lemon in there. So these types of things like salt, honey, and lemon are natural electrolytes for your system. So you don't need to get the powders and the sports drinks and things like that. You can just add a few things to 1 or 2 of your waters throughout the day, or multiple. I mean, some people don't really like water, and so they might add lemon throughout the day. You might add some sea salt in the morning, maybe in the morning, and at night you're adding honey. So those things are great for adding electrolytes to your system. So hydration, very important. The next one is balanced meals. It is extremely important, even when you're busy, to have 3 balanced meals a day. You don't really need snacks, but if you're needing more protein, needing more calories, definitely add those snacks. Or if you're just hungry, or like on this change from snacking all day to trying to get to 3 balanced meals a day, you might have to add snacks in the short term, but really, you don't need snacks, you just need those 3 balanced meals a day. Now, there's all kinds of things out there around different thoughts around you need snacks, you need to eat multiple times a day, and you can definitely follow that. Those are various workout routines, regimens that might help to have your metabolism working a certain way, or making sure you're getting enough protein, or supporting workouts and things like that. What I'm practicing here are realistic everyday habits that are going to help support long-term success and goals. And so not much extremeness here, like it's very low intensity. I'm in my late 40s. I want to be able to do stuff like this into my 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and so on. So things that are a little bit more lower intensity, easier to be able to incorporate through the day based on our busy lives. And speaking of busy lives, I know we rush out the door without breakfast, or we skip lunch. We might graze and snack all day. So it's really important to be regimented around 3 balanced meals a day. This way you make sure you get enough protein, fiber, and healthy fats. In another video, we will talk about meal planning, prepping, so that you don't have to overthink it. Like, how many times have you sat in the morning and gone, I know I need to eat breakfast, I'm hungry, I have no idea what to get, what to make, what to put together. And so you either skip it, or you're picking something up that probably isn't giving you that well-rounded balanced meal. So there's a lot of things that we can do to make sure that you're planning accordingly, so you're not in that situation, and you get those 3 balanced meals a day. And then if you do need snacks, or if you do miss a meal for whatever reason, because none of us are perfect by any means, it's always nice to have some nuts with you. So a handful of nuts, an apple, an orange, something that can go with it, because you don't just want to eat nuts. You want to have a little bit of fiber or carb along with that as well to help make it a little bit more balanced. But nuts are great because they have protein and they have some healthy fats in them. And then you just add with that a piece of fruit, banana, orange, apple, something that's easy to carry along with you. I always pack those types of things, but we'll talk separately about meal planning and meals and preparing for snacks. The main thing to learn here is 3 balanced meals a day and having 3 balanced meals a day. The next thing is around outside time. It is really important for our bodies to get outside, get fresh air, and get sunlight. So this is a big part of my morning ritual is getting outside, even if it's just for 5 minutes. And some days you'll get out for 5 minutes, some days you'll get out for 5 hours. So it just might depend on your day, but it's very critical to get outside, get some sunlight, and just know that even if there's clouds, like if it's about to rain, if it's the middle of winter, the clouds still give sunlight. So it's still important. If it's the middle of winter, get on all your cold weather gear and get outside even just for 5 minutes. But it is amazing what even just 5 or 10 minutes a day is going to do to your nervous system and to your body. And it's also a great way to de-stress. So we'll have a whole video on stress management, but getting outside, getting some sunlight is a great way to de-stress as well. Take some nice deep breaths outside. That gets us into mindful minutes. So every day you should take a few minutes to yourself. Now, some days you might have a really stressful day, so you might need more than just a few minutes, whether it be before or after a stressful situation, or getting prepared for a stressful situation, or coming out of a stressful situation. But it's really important to give yourself that time to just be mindful. No phones, no screens, no work things, no family things, just even if it's just 5 minutes. This is another piece of my morning routine because sometimes it's just easier to get some of these things done in the morning before all the expectations and all the needs flow in. But mindful minutes can be done throughout the day at any point in time. You could be driving on your commute, you could be washing the dishes, you can be making dinner, eating. When you're eating, just taking the time to not just scarf down food, but actually think through and be mindful and thoughtful and reflective during that meal. And so taking that time to yourself is really important for just de-stressing, resetting yourself, preparing yourself for the day, or getting yourself through the day without massive cortisol spikes or stress spikes throughout the day that make you a little bit more wired. And again, that will help with sleep at night and de-stressing and getting down to a sleep environment at night as well. The next thing is around movement. So you really need to move each day. I have a morning movement in my morning routine, but I also am going to talk about, at the end of this video, I have a daily movement. It's very low intensity. You can use this as your workout for those of you that don't want to have a heavy workout or aren't at that level yet to have a heavier workout. I don't do anything high intensity, so I have a daily movement that I do. It's nice to do in the morning or midday, potentially to break up the day, that we'll go through. But also you can do movement. It's important to get out and walk each day. That's twofold. You get your movement as well as you can get your sunlight, your outside time. If you can't get outside, you can get to the gym, a treadmill, a walking pad. It's important to move and walk, but really your body needs that movement every day. As we go through these videos, I'm going to be adding more movement. So I have my morning routine, right when I wake up, I do some movement. I have the daily movement that we'll talk about today. And then trying to get more fit and do more for my body, especially as a woman in her late 40s. I want to incorporate three days a week of strength training and 3 days a week of low to medium impact cardio or HIIT training. And that's a more moderate HIIT training, but we'll get to that in separate videos. Getting a more structured workout But for now, we're just talking about daily movement to get your body moving, get your body flowing, and start to strengthen overall and build that energy up. But also mentioned walking. Walking is really important too. We'll talk about some walking routines in other videos as well. But if you can get out and walk after meals. If not every meal, maybe just after dinner, get out and walk in the morning. Walk in a walking pad while you're working. I'm not one to count steps, and there's so many different pieces of research out there about how many steps you need to get. I say listen to your body. If you have a goal, work toward that goal. You don't have to hit that goal overnight. Listen to your body. Some days you're going to want to do 20,000 steps and walk all over the place. Another day you're going to be lucky if you get 2,000. But just try to get out and walk. That's the goal right now. Get out and walk around your house, walk on your walking pad, walk outside, whatever it takes to get some movement. And the last thing for your daily is daily connects. So part of wellness, happiness, energy is the connections we have as humans. So it's really important to not just go through the routines of work, the routines of home schedules and home needs, but truly connect with people. Take that 30 minutes a day, even if it's just 30 minutes a day. And again, this might change. Some of you out there might be connecting with people all day long. You might be great at this. Others, if you're like me, are not as great at this. And so it's really important to make sure that you're connecting with somebody each day. It's really nice to be able to connect with your family. So if you have a spouse, a partner, if you have kids, or even just your loving animal, but really it's about more that human connection, but animals are also great connections as well. Pets are great connections. So you want to take that time to connect with them. It's not talking about school or work or the schedule or the activities. It's truly connecting with them. You are playing a game together. You're talking about dreams and things you like. You're doing a card game, doing an activity or a craft together, something that's getting you to connect and interact and not just be in the usual stream of things. Also try connecting with friends. Maybe it's a phone call to a friend each day, spending 10 minutes just talking to a friend or a close family member beyond your inner immediate family. But taking that time to connect truly helps you connect with other humans and be able to just feel that joy and calm and connection in life, which is really great, excuse me, for long-term longevity. So those are the key daily habits. Again, I talked about different videos that I'll have in the future that connect to daily habits or expand on daily habits to help you with that. But these are really the things that I'm going to be working on right now, and I encourage you to work on. Some of them you might be doing already, some of them you might not be, but it's good to incorporate those and work on those each day. Again, in the future, we'll have videos that talk more in depth about some of these things or expand on some of these things, but this is really the starting point. This is only week 2 of our 52-week cycle. So now with that, I had mentioned I have a daily movement that I do that I think it's very low impact. And so it's something great to do either in the morning after your morning routine, maybe in the afternoon. Again, it could be your movement and your workout for the day to start. There's definitely ways to amplify it. Today it's all a standing. I'll work on a separate video in which I can do a more seated routine for the daily movement for those of you that really need to be doing your exercises in a seated position. But for today, I'm going to just go through this movement, this daily movement. I'll have a separate video just on the daily movement that I'll post later. And this way you can save this and use this movement in order to get going with your daily movement and daily exercises. So let's get started. So what I really do is I try to do 10 to 20 counts of each exercise. Now, I had also mentioned that you can make this a little bit more difficult. So you can do, right now, we're just focused on one rotation of each. So one rotation, I'll go through the whole set of movements, 10 to 20 reps, one time. Now you can start to compound this, because if this becomes more of your usual exercise and not just a nice daily movement to get your body flowing and going, you can make this where you're doing 2 reps or 3 reps a day. You'll notice that some of these exercises and movements you could even add weights to. So again, we're not going to do any of that today. We're on our 52-week journey, so this is just getting started with movement, getting started with something low intensity that people can feel comfortable with, including myself. But there's easy ways to add more to this to make it a little bit higher intensity, build up a little bit more sweat, a little bit more cardio to it, but we'll keep it a little bit more lower intensity for right now. So right now we're gonna start with our stretches over. So we reach up and we point back with our toe. So we do about 20 of these. And then we start to do butt kicks, where we're doing a bit of an arm curl and kicking up with our leg or our foot to our butt area. And we do another 20 of these. And then we do marches. So we're kind of pulling down and coming up with our knee in a march. And now this is great for the core. And we do 20 of these. And be sure to breathe. It's easy, I'm just gonna take a minute here to talk. So it's easy when you're going through these exercises to hold your breath. And it's important to make sure you're breathing in through your nose and out your mouth when you're going through these exercises. And now this kind of toe tap, this wasn't part of the morning routine, but I just wanted to take a minute to talk and tell you about breathing. But this is a good place to sit anytime you need a minute from your morning or your daily movement at all. You can just kind of toe tap for a minute. Shake it out if you need to. But we got 3 down. So next one is doing a rotation of the hips and a punch. And we're going to do 20 of these as well. And now what we're going to do is we're going to do kind of like this hockey lunge. So you're stepping back like this and you're adding your arms. And we do 20 of these. Or 10, like I said, you can do 10 to 20 of these exercises. So you step back and you swing your arm up. Gonna kind of side curl. And then we're gonna tap to the side and punch across. And you're staying straight, you're looking straight. Your arm is kind of angled like this. Doing 10 to 20 of these. And this is nice, it gets your heart pumping a little bit, gets your breath a little light, depending on how much cardio and movement you typically do through the day. Okay, and then we can shake that out. Now we're gonna do some lunges. So lunging back, you bend this knee, and you come back with the other knee in a bend. Now, I'm about a foot off the ground, and if you can get lower, great, and probably as the weeks go on, I'll get lower. But right now, I'm just gonna take it easy, right? So we go back and forth in a walking lunge, and as we're doing this, we're also moving our arms in a crunch or in a curl. And we're gonna do about 20 of those as well. So that would be, so when you're alternating like this, it would be 10 on each side if you did 20 total repetitions. Okay, now we're gonna do foot taps. This is great for the hip area. So 20 on the front. And we're gonna tap from behind. Again, another 20. Okay, this is arm circles next. So I'm going forward with my arm circles for 20 counts. Then we go back with our arm circles. For 20 counts. Then we go to our toes and then heels. So 1 and 2 and 3 and so we do this for 10 to 20 reps. This is great for any of you that might be getting aches in your arc of your foot or your heel. So that could be the starting point of plantar fasciitis. So it's common as we get older. If we're on our feet, if we have poor shoes that we're wearing that don't support our feet well, or if we have a lot of tightness in our calves. And so this helps with that and strengthening that area. 10 of those. Now we're gonna spread a little bit wider, do a little bit of a squat down and rotate. For 10 to 20 counts. All right, and then we'll bring our feet together again and we'll do waves. So you go down in like a chair position and come up. Okay, and then we go down in a squat or a lunge again. You can go right leg or left leg first. And we're just pulsing and doing a pulse with our arms as well. So I like to add arm movements into my daily movement. If we talk about parts of our body that are not our favorite, for me it's my arms. So it's an area that I'm working on and want to make sure that I engage in all my movements and exercises. Then we rotate, remembering to breathe, and then we press back. Now, those of you that are more comfortable with daily workouts, have been working out for a while, you can probably see how easy it is to incorporate weights or multiple sets of this. You might even be doing that already, but again, we're starting off a little bit easier as we're only on week 2 of our 52-week journey. And then we come out again in our slight squat, and we do like a W, a V extension on each side. And for this one, I'm lucky if I can get to 10. Then we can shake it out a little bit on the arms. So, and just a couple more here. So then we're gonna go back to our marches, but we're gonna do it a little bit differently. We're gonna try to get our march up higher and rotate our arms around. This is really good for our cardio or heart movement. And once again, anytime you're lifting your legs like this, great for your abdominal area. Shake that out, and then we're gonna do, so try to do it as best you can. Lift your leg straight up and touch your calf. If you can touch your toe, that's pretty awesome. But at least touch your knee or your calf on the top. And we'll shake it out a little bit. Let's do a little back and forth rock. Cool it down a little bit. A little toe tap. As we're talking, remember to breathe in and out. Good to stretch up. Did a little bit of arm activity there. Hug your body. Stretch down to your toes if you can. A little stretch after some of those leg exercises. And come back out and shake it out. So that's our daily movement. So I added that to this daily routines video, just so you had that routine, that movement. But I'll do a separate video that just covers that daily movement, so you can save that and have that and watch it when you're doing your daily movement for today. So thanks again for watching. I look forward to sharing more videos as we go on our journey to wellness, energy, healthy longevity. Have a good one.